Welcome to night 2, special edition of GKW Good Karma Wrestling. I'm Gabe Neitzel from ESPN Milwaukee. With me, as always, from ESPN 1000 in Chicago, he is Jonathan Hood. And live, we go to Jay Hood first because Brian Rowitz gets last billing because he is actually in Philadelphia. He witnessed live and in person finishing his story. Cody Rhodes, that's where we start. It was an overbooked masterpiece, in my opinion, the way it ended. We knew he needed the Army. We didn't know who was going to be in the Army. Great crowd reactions for John Cena. And of course, every time you hear the gong, every time you hear the bells of The Undertaker, it's always going to get everybody's attention. And that's what we got tonight, as he's the one who chokeslams The Rock. He's the one who gets the final boss out of the way, clearing the deck for Cody Rhodes to finish his story against Roman Reigns.
And don't forget Shield also. You got the Shield entrance.
So, okay. So since you mentioned the Shield entrance, I got to ask the question because it was tough for me to hear on the television broadcast, Brian. Do they still have Jon Moxley's voice a part of it? Because the three of them said, they spelled it all out. It was hard for me to hear, and I didn't want to go back and double check. But I don't know if Dean Ambrose / Jon Moxley's voice is still a part of that entrance.
I cannot confirm or deny that. I have no idea. Like, it sounded like the normal entrance when it hit. It was very confusing here live.
Yeah, I think we did hear the original entrance of the Shield, and I'm thinking, did WWE sign Moxley? I didn't know about it. Is Moxley coming? Like, we know Rollins is there. Is Mox coming? Like, anything could happen, right? As we talked about for weeks and weeks and weeks, it would take a lot for Cody Rhodes to win the Universal Championship. All the help possible. You got a Cena, you've got The Undertaker, and everybody tried to help as much as possible, and Cody Rhodes did it. And I tell you what, guys, this is why we do this every week, is because of the story. You can give me all your 5-star classics, you can give me all your flippy shit. There's nothing like a great story that culminates into a great moment like we saw tonight at WrestleMania.
Yeah, we talk a lot about feeling and having that feeling. Tonight you felt that. Like, when that 3 came down, and then when Cody gave the belt to Mama Rhodes, like, you had that feeling. Cody is the master at doing that, and tonight was a masterpiece. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I know Hunter didn't want to come down, or I guess we're just calling him Paul Levesque, as CM Punk, pointed out in his interview with Ariel Helwani this week, that he leaves and everybody comes back and everyone's calling him Paul, and he's super confused as to which Paul, because he's thinking Paul Heyman, but he comes out and. Look, man, this is the first WrestleMania where he was fully in charge and, man, knocked it out of the park. And he was getting his roses all over the place, got them from his wife to begin the night, certainly got them from Paul Heyman at the Hall of Fame on Friday nights. He deserves it all, man. It was so much fun tonight. We have discussed on the show how, as diehard wrestling fans, the three of us, like, WrestleMania hasn't become for us anymore. And we're still going to watch because they know they have us. But this actually felt like it was a WrestleMania for the wrestling fan, which was a nice, refreshing, and look, it was still super fun. You catered it to the wrestling fan, and I think a lot of casual fans came along for the ride because of the Logan Pauls and, of course, The Rock being involved and all these other things that they were able to do and all the different eyeballs they've been able to get on the product over the last, 3-4 months. It was a tremendous product tonight, and it was capped off the best way that they could. I know we talked about it last night. We were worried. We were nervous. So to answer Andy's question on YouTube, was there really any doubt? Yeah, there was a little bit of doubt. There was a little bit of doubt last night, but they ultimately pay it off with Cody finishing his story.
Yes, there's always doubt because we kept hearing about, well, if it's not now, then Madison Square Garden later on this year. And I just poo-pooed all that because I said, the time is now. If Cody Rhodes did not finish his story tonight, then the audience would not believe in him. And as you tell the stories, as you flip through the pages of every bit of this story, Brian, you had to tell that story tonight. I mean, you did it last year. He did not finish the story. Tonight, it had to happen because if it didn't happen tonight, then they would have to move on because no one would believe in Cody Rhodes as heavyweight champion. I'm just so overwhelmed by the story because Cody Rhodes is a decent man, is just a good man, right? and he bet on himself. He was that Stardust, awful character, had to bet on himself, go to the Indies, help start AEW, and said, you know what, it's not time for me to leave the territory and find a new goal. He finds a new goal, comes to WWE. We thought there's no way that Vince would allow Cody Rhodes to be the champion because he didn't let Dusty be the champion. He didn't let Goldust be the champion. But it actually happened for Cody Rhodes, a guy who bet on himself and now is the king of the business in the WWE, which is it was amazing.
And to that point, I didn't know if there was going to be a way that Paul was going to let him be champion.